the crucial 9th round of talks between the farmers and the government is currently underway as the stalemate between the government and the farmers over the new farm law still continues. Meeting is underway in Delhi's Vigyan Bhavan. Before the meeting, Agricultural Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Piyush Goyal met with the Home Minister Amit Shah at his residence to chalk out a strategy ahead of talks. Both farmers and the government are hopeful now of reaching a consensus. The main agenda of the meet here will be farmers' demand to repeal the farm laws and a legal guarantee for minimum support price to farm produce. On Thursday, farmers took out tractor rallies on expressways surrounding the national capital. In fact, they warned that if talks fail today, then they will intensify their stir by taking out a tractor march to Delhi on Republic Day. In fact, so far, farmer leaders have met the centre for 8 rounds of talks. In the 7th round, it said that they reached a consensus on 2 agreements, and that was the electricity law, which the government said that they're ready to put on hold, and of course decriminalizing stubble burning. But the farmers' 2 primary demands, which is of MSP guarantee and repealing the laws completely, was not met with, and that's the discussion today as well.
आज फिर किसानों से एक दौर बातचीत होगी और मुझे पूरी आशा है कि किसान यूनियन के लोग चर्चा करेंगे और सकारात्मक माहौल में चर्चा होगी। संभवतः हम लोग समाधान तक पहुंच पाएंगे। स्वाभाविक रूप से जब चर्चा होती है तो सभी को आगे बढ़ने का प्रयास करना पड़ता है, तभी समाधान तक पहुंचते हैं और मुझे आशा है कि सभी लोग सकारात्मक माहौल में चर्चा करेंगे और रास्ता ढूंढेंगे।
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि शुभ शुभ होगा और किसान भी इस बात को अच्छी तरह महसूस कर रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व वाली जो सरकार है वो किसानों के हितों के प्रति समर्पित है, पूरी तरह से संवेदनशील है और साफ सुथरी नीयत के साथ काम कर रही है।
We will participate in the meeting, but before the meeting yesterday, Minister categorically declared that we cannot accept the repeal. After declaring that, what we will say today in the meeting, we do not know. If they decide that we will solve the problem, they should discuss it. They should discuss it. But before that, they announced forcefully that we are not going to accept it. I do not know what will happen in the discussion.
देखो, सरकार जब पहली बार गई तो सरकार ये कह के गई थी कि हम बताएंगे, और किसान नहीं मान रहा है और किसान कानून में बदलाव चाहता है, पूर्ण रूप से इसको खत्म करवाना चाहता है, तो हम पूरा एक प्रपोजल लेकर हम आएंगे। तो क्या लेकर आते हैं आज देखते हैं उसको।
आपको लगता है कि कोई बीच का रास्ता भी है?
बीच का हमारी तरफ से कोई रास्ता बीच का नहीं है। ये सरकार लाना चाहती होगी कुछ, लेकिन हमारी तरफ से कोई वो नहीं है। हमारी तरफ से ये है कि बिल्लों को रिफिल करो, बिल्लों को ख़त्म करो, एमएसपी पे कानून बनाओ। हमारी तरफ से पूर्ण रूप से ये है।
देखिए, उम्मीद से तो हम हर बार जाते हैं कि सरकार हमारी बात मानेगी। उन्हीं आशाओं के साथ हम जा रहे हैं। सरकार क्या करती है, सरकार ने किस तैयारी से आई है। पिछली बार सरकार ने जो हमसे कहा था कि एमएसपी को गारंटी का कानून बनाने के लिए हमें होमवर्क के लिए समय चाहिए, ऐसा सरकार हमसे 3 बार कह चुकी है पिछली बैठकों में भी। तीसरी बार और कहा कि हमको समय चाहिए। तो आज सरकार उस होमवर्क के साथ हमारे पास आएगी और हम उस होमवर्क के तहत सरकार का होमवर्क देखेंगे कि सरकार क्या कहेगी।
सारे गेट की जो बात हुई है उसमें हमने पहले ही बोल दिया कि रद्द करने के अलावा और कोई अल्टरनेटिव है नहीं, क्योंकि कितनी डिस्कशन भी होगी। अमेंडमेंट्स की तो बात बहुत पुरानी होगी ना। अब ये तो हम पंजाब में जब एजिटेशन कर रहे थे उस वक्त सरकार बोलती, शायद कोई मान भी जाते, पर अब तो वो बात है ही नहीं। अब तो बात उससे आगे निकल चुकी। अब जो पंजाब से आंदोलन सारे देश का आंदोलन बन गया। अब तो सारा देश है इसके ऊपर एक मत से है कि कानून गलत बने हैं और एक कानून खेती बाड़ी को बर्बाद करने वाले, इनको रद्द ही करना चाहिए। इसके अलावा और कोई विकल्प है ही नहीं।
देखिए, आप इतना बड़ा आंदोलन है, आज तक पीसफुल चल रहा है। हम तो कोई नुकसान नहीं करना चाहते। ये मैसेज भी उन्होंने दिया, अगर सरकार को खून की डिमांड है, हम शांतिपूर्वक ढंग देने को तैयार हैं, लेकिन हमारे बिल रद्द किए जाए।
Let's quickly cut across to our reporters joining us. Rahul Srivastava, I'll come to you first. Rahul, here we know the farmers are meeting for the 9th time with the government, and they're quite prepared that unless the government decides on quashing the laws, they're not going to retract their agitation, which is on now for over 2 months. That aside, out of the 4 demands, 2 of them the government seem to have come to a consensus with, and that is the electricity law, which they say they will be keeping on hold. The stubble burning will be decriminalized. Now, it's the 2 primary demands which the farmers are adamant upon, and the government seem hesitant to completely quash it. What is expected in this round of talk?
Nabila, if you talk about the electricity and the stubble burning elements, these are peripheral to the talks. The central issues remain the 3 laws and the MSP issue, on which the government and the farm unions have failed to arrive on any kind of point of convergence. Now, if you see the meeting today, farmers have made it something very clear that there is no possibility of emerging out of this meeting accepting any kind of a middle path solution to their demands is concerned. Now, in the last meeting also, interestingly, while the meeting could have on paper lasted for over 4 hours, the discussion was not barely more than 1.5 hours, and the larger time was taken in confabulations between individual groups among themselves instead of talking to each other. There came a point in last time in the talks when one of the leaders said that if we go with the middle solution, we'll be virtually killed and lynched, and the government will have to come up either accepting the demands or rejecting them totally. And in that scenario, there were talks about the government looking at the possibility of creating an MSP guarantee by transferring the load of MSP as far as traders and others are concerned. But that will create a large bill of nearly 80,000 crore rupees, which is a problem for the government because that may lead to rise in prices of food grain in the country. And that is why the government, it seems right now, does not have something very tangible to offer, because as far as repealing the Farm Bill is concerned, that's a complete no-no for the government. There has been also some buzz about creating a model act. That's also a legislative problem, because acts passed by Parliament cannot be turned into model acts, because that will need virtually scrapping the bills and coming up and turning them into model laws. So what we can tell right now, the viewers, is that the government is insisting on a point-by-point discussion inside the meeting, in which it is saying that listen to us, we are ready to, in case the farmers come up with some solutions or a via media or a middle path, the government is ready to discuss. The farmers remain adamant, and one doesn't hope that even today there could well be any point of convergence between the farm unions and the government on the issue of the protests.
Right. Rahul, do stay with us. Let me quickly cut across to Anand Patel joining us. Anand, you did mention how the farmers are toughening their stand. Over the last few meets, they seem to have become a lot more staunch. Initially, at least, we saw some bonhomie between the farmers and the government officials. They even had langar together. But as it graduated over the last 2 to 3 rounds, the farmers did not agree to have lunch together as well. They've had lunch separately, not entertain the centre and their officials too much, except for what the talks on the table. Apart from that, they've been quite aside of the government, not mingling with them, not to make it look like they're taking this lightly.
Well, yes, Nabila, you pointed out absolutely right, and you know, that is what is reflecting here on the ground as well. And you know, the both sides are drifting apart as far as the stand is concerned, and that is what we've seen in round 8. The farmers refuse to break bread with the union ministers here. That's a clear indication of hardening of stand as far as the farmers are concerned. And that's the biggest worry for the government, because all the 41 representatives here, the last meeting, they made it very clear that the government should talk about the modalities of repealing the act and the laws, which the government is not prepared to do. Now the government had tried to, you know, bring in some mediators in this entire agitation. Yesterday, a Sikh preacher from Nanaksar, Lakha Singh, met the Union Agriculture Minister, but not much has moved from that also, because the farmer union leaders have refused to accept any kind of mediation. So that is also ruled out. The government has tried that as well. As far as the other 2 aspects which were being talked about, that the government should defer it, some farmer unions and organizations were saying that they will be ready to consider that. But yesterday evening's meeting between the farmer unions, that has also been ruled out completely. The farmers are saying that no kind of deferment is acceptable to them. Even if the government leaves it to the states, most of the states are NDA rule, BJP rule, so they will implement it from back door. The farmers are very suspicious, and this, you know, loss of trust among the farmer unions vis-a-vis the government is playing a crucial role in this standoff, and the government and the farmers are not able to come to a meeting ground. The farmers have made it very clear that nothing short of repeal of the 3 laws will be acceptable to them, and that was witnessed in the last meeting as well, because the 2 agendas which were set by the farmers, the repeal of 3 laws and the talk on MSP guarantee, even when the government was ready to talk about the MSP guarantee in the last meeting, the farmers stuck to their stand that first the government need to talk about the modalities on the repeal of the law. So clearly the farmers now are very clear and insistent upon their demand that the laws repeal should be considered as their primary demand, and nothing else should be talked about, and that is the reason why we're not seeing much progress as far as these talks are concerned.
And like
Nabila, this
you
is
did
round
mention,
8,
Rahul
and
and
we are heading
Anand, the
towards
Supreme
almost
Court is
2
to be
months.
hearing the matter on Monday. Will the Supreme Court ask or intervene in the matter, asking for the status quo in this situation? That remains to be seen. Akshita here brings us some details of what farmers demand, their demands really are, and what the government stand has been so far. Let's take a listen.
For 44 days now, farmers have been protesting at Delhi's borders against the farm reforms. And I'm going to explain to you why we're seeing this deadlock continuing. The first demand, or the most basic one of the farmers, is the complete rollback of the 3 new farm laws. And that is something that the government has outrightly rejected, saying there's no question of even a discussion on that demand. There's also a demand to bring law to guarantee a minimum support price. Farmers are saying simply an assurance is not enough. On this front, talks will continue today as well, and hopefully we'll see a breakthrough. The third demand of scrapping the proposed electricity law has already been met and addressed by the government. They've said that, okay, we will accept that, we will scrap the electricity law. The fourth demand is to stop the penalization of farmers for stubble burning. Remember that the government had said that farmers will be punished if they resort to stubble burning. This has also been agreed to by the centre. The centre said we will go ahead and ensure there's no penalizing of the farmers. So 2 demands have been met. The one demand there's still discussions on, but the biggest bone of contention is on the demand of repealing of the 3 farm laws.